Well, hello. I logged in and I found that StreamYard has updates. Yeah. Well, as you can see from the title, Pluto is in Aquarius. We know this already. Saturn and Neptune is in Aries. Now I'm not gonna dig all deep into that because I don't necessarily feel like it in that kind of way. So I'm just going to wrap around these aspects, just the simplicity of them, not what house they're in or anything like that, around what I have been talking about for the past year or the past 6 months about online dating. And the reason online dating has come into my radar so bad is because when Pluto was sitting in Capricorn, it was debates, it was political, it was work, it was what we see coming that happened actually during Biden, which was the whole what was it called, Section 8 or something. It was called something for people who have been here in this country for a long time but have not completed their paperwork. And I said, once again, that's the Capricorn, the 8, the Saturn energy, right? And I was like, okay, so that's Capricorn. And so Capricorn, Saturn, Pluto, and Capricorn left the energy of like focus and work and money and finances and uh, business and things like that, entrepreneurship, stuff like that. And this is around the time you saw a lot of these like ads for real estate stuff, and then you see the Airbnb stuff, and you get my drift. So when Pluto hit Aquarius, I remember having a conversation with somebody, and they were saying they had mentioned groups. It was like, man, all this group stuff is going to stop because the Saturn, Pluto and Aquarius and all this stuff. And I could see where they were going with it. And the thing about Aquarius and groups is Aquarius is an air sign. It's an air of all air signs. So any type of group setting that an Aquarius is in is most of the time a group setting that an Aquarius has been a part of for a very, very long time, or a group that they have created, because Aquarius are the trendsetters. You see what I'm saying? Also, this is why there's so much trickery now with groups where you can have someone in the circle and they're not really a part of the circle, but they're there because they halfway do it and all these different types of things. Well, something else hit as time went on, and it began to make sense to me more. Online, online dating is all air elements, all the air signs shit, air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, right? And online dating is a very Aquarius fucking thing to do. And the trickery, the air element of the trickery and the games and the scamming and the things that people do, this is all air sign traits. But then it all began to hit me more when I saw from the book attached that it stated that most people who are online are avoidant attached people. I'm like, nobody's more avoidant attached than the goddamn Aquarius. Nobody's more anxious attached than the goddamn Aquarius. And when I saw this, it didn't hit me right away, but it began to hit me later. Because as someone whose sun sits in the 11th house, this Pluto in Aquarius definitely has been affecting me since it has hit. And a lot of it, and a lot of the thing that has come up in my life were the people in my life, the people in my personal life, the people in my life who were my friends, people in my life who I had around me, people in my coworker life. All of this stuff had started to hit me more and more and more as time has gone on, and especially in my personal life. And as I sit here and I was going through this thing that I was going through, it all began to hit me about how online is a space for the worst type of people. And I can understand why there are people online who say, social media was the worst thing that could ever happen to people. I don't think it was the worst thing that could ever happen to people. There was a purpose to why social media happened, and I'm glad that it happened. And I'm glad that social media has opened the doors for people to see this world and what people are, and not, some people still don't are not aware of this world because they're still naive to that capacity. But you know what I'm saying? And it made me think because I was talking to my cancer brother, and he was telling me that it's like, you know, living down here, if you're in the ghetto, or you're in the slums, when you are in a nice neighborhood, you know. But when you're in the city, you can't really tell. You can't tell what kind of neighborhood you are in, and it's a little nerve wracking because then you don't really know where you are. When I expressed to him that, you know, because we were talking about New York City, and I was like, well, the thing about up north, but mainly because I lived there, Brooklyn especially, I was like, well, they gentrified Brooklyn. And so those lines got crossed. I said, before you could tell, you could walk around Brooklyn and know the difference of where you were at. I said, but the thing about the gentrification of Brooklyn, those lines have been crossed. And I was like, well, Queens always had houses, and the separatism of Queens has always been the projects. But yet you have people who live across the street from the projects, but there's still the projects that you can tell the difference because everybody else lived in houses. Brooklyn, you got the brownstones, you got the apartment complexes, and but the neighborhood is set up a certain way versus other neighborhoods. But the gentrification has crossed those lines. So, with those lines being crossed, that is why you cannot tell. And it made me think about Pluto and Aquarius. It made me think about online. It made me think about these things. It made me go back to the conversation. I didn't talk to them about this. I'm saying right now in this moment with y'all. That conversation I had with y'all. Remember, I was like, yo, online, you'll find yourself crossing paths with people that you would never ever cross paths with, that you would never be friends with in the real world. Online, you're finding yourself talking to people that you probably would have never thought of being in a relationship with. Some people, that may be a good thing for them. Some people have had successful connections online. But the truth is, people online who date like that, who strictly date online like that, they got some deep hangups. Their lives are weird. They're awkward. And they are they're not together internally. People online. And this is a realization that I had to come to in my own life, and all the people I have met. I had to realize, like, damn, I met a lot of awesome fucking people. And the people who have been major distractions were people that were online. It was always an online motherfucker. Because the thing is, everybody, Saturn and Neptune has hit Aries. And this is going to get quite interesting. Because Aries is the god or goddess of war. Aries is also a trailblazer. Aquarius is the trendsetter, while Aries is the trailblazer. Aries is about physical activity. Aries is about Aries rules the head. Believe it or not, there are some Aries that are very smart and educated and very into that. And then there's also some very egg-headed Aries who are very ignorant and very arrogant, right? So you have those different aspects of the Aries energy. Aries is not comfortable in the planet of Saturn. Aries is not comfortable there because Aries can't deal with all of that, the rules of Saturn. Aries can't deal with the slowing down and taking your time because it's such a trailblazer. So Saturn is sitting the Aryan energy down. Saturn is making Aries think before they leap. Saturn is making Aries have to face the consequences of arguments and fights and confrontations because that's what Aries is. So your little arguments and your fights and your confrontations, your little sly comments and remarks and stuff that you once have done, your sarcasm and everything is going to backfire. It's not going to be tolerated. Why? Because Saturn is over you. And so breakups may happen. People ghosting you may happen. People may cut you off may happen. Cursing you out may happen. People may telling you the truth about yourself may happen. This is all what Saturn does. It is the truth that you must face. They say that prison is Saturn. Some say prison is Saturn and Pisces. Interesting enough. But prison is definitely a Saturn thing. And what does having these very unique fire and water, Aries, fire is Aries, Sag, and Leo, right? In this case, we're talking about Aries. With having these very fire and air elements, these are the trendsetters. These are the how do you say, the in vogue people. What's in vogue? What's in style? You know what I'm saying? These are the innovators of the world. A lot of times, people who have started things, who have built things, were always air signs with fire, or most of the time, air or fire signs and such. But most of the time, I'm leaning more on the air sign element. And so, we're dealing with that kind of energy being put in planets that are a little bit more slower, that are a little bit more contemplative, put into planets that are like, okay, wait, let me put my hand on your shoulder before you take those actions. You can't be doing that. See, here's the thing, Neptune in Aries is actually not a bad thing. I mean, anybody with Neptune in Aries, I could imagine the level of creation that you have, the level of how much you whatever ideas that formulate in your brain. I could imagine how innovative it is. That's the word, right? You'll be like a Banksy or a Basquiat, or create like Janis Joplin or Jimi Hendrix with that Neptune and Aries. So that's beautiful. But see, the thing is, with Saturn in Neptune being in Aries, for anybody who's an Aries or any Aries rising, moon, or aspect of Aries, first house aspect, anything, it's going to slow down. You're going to take a more grounded approach, or you're going to need to take a more grounded approach to your actions. So, what does this mean as a whole? You know how online people are saying reckless shit? You know how online people are doxing people and shit? This is going to be the time where people are really going to endure the consequences of doing that. This is also a time where, for people who are more reckless, I want to make this clear. These are for the reckless behaving people, Aries energy. For the people who are reckless online, talking about people, showing their faces, doing things like that in a very nasty, reckless way, there's going to be extreme consequences. So don't be surprised if you find that your divestors may start getting exposed or put out there, or information put on them, where they truly work at, what they really look like, and who their family members may be. because I'm thinking about that Pluto in Aquarius, and Aquarius will take it too far. Aquarius will dig. Aquarius will find out everything that needs to be found out and put it out there. And so with this Saturn in Aries aspect, reckless, ratchet behavior, the black fatigue, which I actually think is just a ratchet fatigue. I think that's what everybody's tired of. Ratchetness. All of this stuff is going to come with extreme, and I mean extreme consequences. And I'm being very dead serious. One thing about online is that I I have to say this is going to get darker as well. Don't be surprised if you find that people's reckless behavior puts them in 6 feet under. This is not, and I mean this from my heart, people. We are not really in the times where we should be doing anything reckless. We shouldn't be reckless with our money. We should not be reckless at how we handle our relationships. We should not be reckless with whoever we have around us that is family that loves us. We should not be reckless in our car. We should not be reckless people. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. And I'm not trying to fearmonger because I don't do that. There is major consequences coming for any type of immature, uninhibited, unreasonable behavior. So your channels that drop the N word and monkey ate gorillas in their own way, your channels that's just off the hook, wild. It's one thing if the show is just wild and that's just how it is and that's just the topic and they have a good time. That's nothing. But it's another thing when it's purposefully being nasty and being spiteful. People have been saying that they think people have become more wicked or more spiteful. And I'm just like, well, welcome to the world. Welcome to planet Earth because it's been this way. And so there are people waking up to this. And so there's some people that it scares them. So they don't want to talk to people or they don't deal with people or whatever the case may be. And that's just what it is. Um, this is also a very big time of Aries rules the head. Therefore, that is the mind. Aries is what you see when you see people who are with Down syndrome and they have the radio and and all that stuff. That's all representative of the Aries energy. See what I'm saying? So all of this, I'm autistic, I'm mentally ill, I'm this and that. All these people who are faking that shit is going to be exposed. So your people who out here who was claiming that they're autistic and they're this and they're mentally this and that, you're going to find them to people are going to tell you the truth about their mental conditions. That's definitely coming out. That was already lined up to come out whether Saturn was in Aries or not, but I just wanted to put that out there. Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto is sitting in the square. Pluto is ruled by Scorpio, which squares Aquarius. Pluto is a planet of self-reflection. Pluto is a planet of isolation, loneliness, or learning how to fulfill your loneliness. That's the planet Pluto. Pluto is a planet that some people don't even think exists, but is there. But Scorpio is also co-ruler is Mars, which is also rules Aries, right? So Aquarius is ruled by Scorpio is ruled by two planets, Pluto and Mars. And Pluto is in Aquarius, which squares Pluto. What's happening here is, see, the Aquarius is a very stubborn zodiac sign, very fixed zodiac sign. And so the thing about the Aquarius energy is that it can be very stuck in its ways and its ideology and its thoughts. And Aquarius has a terrible habit of being a know-it-all. And you can't be a know-it-all in Pluto because Pluto will humble you, very much so. And this is a lot of what's happening with a lot of people out here. A lot of these big shots are getting humbled. Okay? A lot of them are getting humbled. From your Diddy's to your, it's a lot of other people out here too. I kind of peep around and I look. I think the mermaid girl is an Aries now that I think about it. I think she's an Aries that just went through this situation with her child. Excuse me, with her child and the father. Then we have more things that goes on, y'all. Online right now is not the place. See, I pay attention to my compadres, for lack of a better word, that I talk to closely. And I look at what they do. And I pay attention to a lot of the things. And a lot of times the people I talk to closely, we tend to always, strange enough, flow on the same frequency of actions. Meaning that I had one who I call Cuzzo, and they was like they hung up everything online. They hung it up. And the next thing I know, I said the same thing out of nowhere. Not because they did it, but out of nowhere. I was just like, yo, I don't want nothing to do with online dating no more. I just don't want nothing to do with this anymore. Like that's what I said, and I just hung it all up. And then I thought about it and I said, wait, most poly relationships is from people online, right? And so as time went on, right, I was like, oh shit, oh shit. This is it. That's how people are having these relationships. This is how people are having poly relationships. This is where people are meeting and where people are falling apart. People's relationships in these circles are all coming from online. Hence, these people are online. And it all began to hit me more about some other experiences in my life. And this is what I'm saying to y'all, that online dating, especially, you're dealing with so much more. And everything I talked about, I knew what the fuck, and I know what the fuck I'm talking about with these people. So when you're sitting here and you're online and you're dating somebody and you're wondering, well, what the fuck is this person problem, and why are they going back and forth, or why they not talking to me on the phone, and why they don't get on video, or what's taking so long about us meeting and all this and that. You need to understand that that is a detached place for people to hide and people to express and do things and be things in a way that they probably can never be in their real fucking life. Where people have so much opinions and things to say that they're not living their damn self. Because I had to ask myself, why was the worst people I ever met were people online? Why are they the worst? But the thing is, you take a chance every time you meet people, because I've met people in my real life, but they also live their life online, and I can tell you the personality that comes with these people. And that's just what it is. See, when you see these stories of people just dying online, and you be like, well, that was a sugar baby, sugar daddy situation and this and that. See, you don't know the story. That person could have catfished them, meaning they could have lied to them. That person could have pretended to be something that they weren't until the person met them. See, the thing is, the people who die from meeting people online, we will never know the story because they're dead. Excuse me, they're unalived. And so therefore, how are you how will we ever know? We're just going to come to our conclusions unless the investigation launches and they go through their stuff to tell us exactly what happened. Unless a psychic shuffles on it and tells us what happened. Nobody likes to hear it. But what is going on here is there is audience, there are people who are listening to people, because see, the thing is, people steal from you online too. That's another big thing about you will get stolen from in a heartbeat. Someone somewhere is going to take what you have. This is why when you live a certain lifestyle, you're not supposed to be accessible. That's something I had to learn the hard way. You're not supposed to be so accessible. Everyone is not supposed to be able to have access to you. And that's on purpose with a lot of celebrities. Just recently, The Sims had something. It was Megan the Stallion, Evan X, and I never heard of the other woman, but I'll check her stuff out. They did a live, and they did that live for like 35 minutes and they disappeared. That was on purpose. They said it took them about 2 hours and something. They said they were late to the live. But when they came in, they did what they did for about 35 minutes and they left. They was out of there. That was on purpose because they're not supposed to be accessible. You're supposed to know Megan Thee Stallion as Megan Thee Stallion. You're supposed to know her as that. And Ebon X, you're supposed to know her as the one who makes the mods for The Sims. And that's how you're supposed to know her. And the other girl, I guess her too. She had the Grim Reaper outfit on. I guess that's how you're supposed to know her too. Right? And that is how you're supposed to be when you're on the world stage. You're supposed to do your performance on the stage and the curtains close. Another thing, y'all. Who we? Um, this is going to be a ride. Especially if you guys have Aries friends or Aries rising people, or moons or Aryan aspects. This is going to be a ride for them. Okay? This is going to be something that you may sit back and they might really not be okay. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. Or Saturn also rewards, so you might see them accomplish. And I hope that you get the experience of seeing the Saturn and the Saturn and Aries show accomplishments for people with those aspects. But for some of you, you may not see that, and it's okay. And the thing is, the person with that Aries aspect is going to have to learn how to slow down. They're going to have to learn how to think before they speak. They're going to have to learn that everybody's not going to deal with what you think that they're going to deal with when it comes to you, and that you can't always cry and try to play the victim. And this is for Aries people that I say this, with Saturn being in Aries right now. And for those of you who are like me and a Libra, double Libra at that, this Saturn in Aries is going to affect you as well. And I mean, I have a lot of things. I have my sun in the 11th house. So Pluto's in Aquarius right now. My fucking moon is in the 12th house. We had Saturn in Pisces recently. That's going to jump back around my birthday, my 41st. Like, I got a lot of things that's getting hit by this aspect on so many levels. And I'm moving according to that. And the thing is, for anybody, like, I'm dating an Aries. So dating an Aries, I'm going through something with the Aries, but I'm also realizing this is Saturn and Aries that is making me behave the way I am towards this person. And sometimes it can be a breakup. Saturn will also put you in a space again of isolation and being with yourself. And it's a lot of intense energy as the sun is in Gemini right now. Oh boy, soon it's going to hit Cancer, then it's going to hit Leo. When it hit Leo, it might calm down just a little bit. Then it's going to hit back into Virgo again, and then it's going to be back. Then Saturn's going to hit back around September 1st or 2nd when when Virgo's in season, and that's when Saturn's going to go back into Pisces. So we're going to do it a Sun Saturn opposition in that time. And Virgo is about health, so we're Biden is not going to be here between now until that September mark. And I'm sure a lot of astrologers have probably already predicted that Biden is a Scorpio, but he's not. I don't know. I don't remember his aspect. I know he has a lot of 12th house energy, 12th house planetary aspects, but like, he ain't gonna be here. Okay, and I don't people have been predicting that Trump would we don't want JD to be the president. That'll be a horrible fucking day. We don't want that man to be no fucking president. Another thing. Let me breathe on this one. I'm trying to be careful because I am still on YouTube, even though I'm probably low key shadow banned. I still follow the rules. This is a time that things are going to work very Saturnian in the sense of anything that you may have got up and just did or felt like doing. It's going to be the earth energy to the fire, because Capricorn's an earth sign that's ruled by Saturn. So the earth energy is going to slow down the fire. You're going to it's like the dirt that you pick up and you throw it into the fire to slow it down. So therefore, any adventures, any ideas, any endeavors, anything that you have blazed into is going to call for you to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. I mean, just taking your time. That little pile of clutter that you have in the closet, you're going to be taking your time. It ain't going to be you just running in there, being able to just not think about it, throw it out, toss it out. No, energy's going to be like, nope, you're going to go over there, you're going to take your time and throw everything out, clean everything, put everything together. I had a situation with my clothes, and my white clothes look a fucking disaster. So I have to go back and bleach and clean my white clothes again. Okay? It's little stuff like that. Alrighty. Let's get back to the topic of people online. So I didn't make it a direct topic because I didn't want it to seem very attacking. I didn't have a way of making the topic about online dating without it drawing some type of attention that wasn't what the attention was that I wanted. So I just titled it this right here. For me, I'm done. I don't want to meet people in that way. I don't want to date in that way. I've been told y'all that, and I mean it. And I mean, I really mean it now. I don't even want to talk to people. People are in more desperate times. Someone, a friend of mine told me today that she had woman she talked to, and after she talked to this woman, she pretty much put it, like, after she met and talked to this woman, she pretty much put it together that this woman was out of a home and had no ride. And in that moment, after talking to her, she wanted to just completely just ghost her ass because the woman didn't even have a job or nothing going on for herself. Nothing going on for herself. It's stuff like that, y'all. It's stuff like that. Okay? It's things of that nature that become an issue. And you begin to say to yourself, well, why are you trying to date if that is your situation? Why are you not trying to get that together first if that is your situation? Because there are people who really out here, they really do want love. They really do want a relationship. They do want a companion. They do want somebody to understand them. They do. Don't think that they don't. They do. Aries is about relationships too, people. Aries is about sincere friendships. Aries reflects the zodiac sign Libra. The zodiac sign all about relationships and business partnerships and all kind of stuff. That's what they're about. Aries can be head over heels in their relationship and all about their relationship and all about marriage and all that stuff too. And so that theme is going to come up along with this Saturn and Aries and Pluto and Aquarius energy. So you're gonna have these people who you're gonna be like, but you have no car, you have no house, you have nothing, and you still want love, you still want a relationship, you still want to be with somebody. Because subconsciously, Pluto and Aquarius, people were trying to use the energy of other people to pick themselves back up. Understand there are people that they don't have the knowledge of SCW, right? For those who listen to my show, you know what I'm talking about. Or the SW. They don't have knowledge of understanding how other people's energy can pull you down and interrupt what you got going on in your life. They don't have that. They don't have the energy to understand that, you know, the choices you have made in your life have put you where you are. And some people, they just don't know how to get up from what they've been going through. They don't know how to get up through what their depression or whatever it is that they're in. And they're just in the loop and they're just stuck there. And there's nothing we can do. We just can do but protect ourselves and be around people more aware like ourselves, right? But you have people that's their life. You have people who, oh my goodness, how do I say this shit? they don't have the intelligence to know. And you're more prone to be in a cesspool of people, a bag of people, when you decide to date online. Girl, give a fuck about no chat overlay. That's one of the new updates. We can put the chat room over us on the screen while we're talking. I guess that's to give us a more authentic look like other people have been doing. Yeah, whatever. I don't want no chat room across my screen. I'm not a that's that gamer shit, you know. And so these are the things that are happening out here with people. These are the things that is the problem. And why is that? Because online dating is a space for people to get away from what their life is. I remember somebody who tried to go online dating and try to date and outside of their relationship, whatever, because they had an open relationship, and they did not make it. They just didn't make it. Okay? And I knew they wasn't going to make it. And I knew they're just not going to make it outside of even talking to people outside of their relationship period. Cuz you got some people, honestly, they need to stay where they're at, because if they leave where they are, they ain't going to make it out here in this world amongst other people. And the case is, that's a lot of people. And you have people who are afraid, who have been very hurt, very damaged, very broken. So they're very quick to think that you're going to go do something before they do something, and they don't want to get hurt, and they want to ghost before you ghost, and all this type shit. You got people who, they are constantly going through embarrassments and problems and trouble on a day-to-day basis of their lives. And so when you talk to them, you'll be like, but what the fuck is this person problem? And that's what it is. You got people just sitting around hoping for someone to go be with them that'll never be with them. Like, you got a lot of shit with people. People who do readings and shit, we get, we get the information like that, you know what I'm saying, of people, like, in what they go through, and this type shit. This is what I'm saying. And like, I'm telling you, like, you have people that this is their lives is in shambles, and you'll be like, why is this person acting like this? Why are they screaming on the phone? Why this person arguing with about something that's just so stupid? Why are they just taking and going through the shit that they going through? Why didn't they report when they got, you know, SA'd by this group or whatever? You have all of these different things you begin to start asking yourself, because you have to understand that these type of people are not meeting themselves halfway. They're not meeting themselves halfway, and their lives are just so fucked. I mean it, like, their lives is fucked. And I mean, and I tend to always find I have met some wild ass people, but I've noticed that the wild ass people, they asses be online. They're quick to meet people online. They're quick to be on a dating site online. And I wish I caught on to this years ago. But the most craziest and wildest, sick, demented, Sexually deviant people are online. Dangerous people are online. I mean, you got people in prison that can be online and people date them and they have their social medias online while they're in prison. You have people doing that. And I'm here to tell you with Pluto and Aquarius as well, Saturn going in Aries, this is the time of authenticity. This is a time of connecting on a physical level with other human beings. This is a time of getting to know people on a physical level as other human beings. People as into yourself, people who live life as you, people who are on the vibration as you. This is the time to do it. This is the time to go out into spaces, fill people out, and decide how far you want to take your connection with that person. And if you find yourself just changing social media with them, then they are not the people for you. The last time I saw somebody and I had saw the band shirt and I talked to them, I showed them my social media. We followed each other and that was it. Nothing else further happened. If I don't feel like giving you my personal phone number to text me right away while we right there in each other's face and we keep some kind of phone texting connection or on my phone through video or something, I ain't interested in you like that. You ain't interested in me. I don't be trying to get to people like that. I'd seen somebody a month ago online, beautiful. They do art, make t-shirts, and I requested for a certain type of type of hoodie, and I was like, "Well, I don't do that. I just do prints." And I was like, "Okay." And I remember my partner was like, you should talk to her, this, that, and the third. And I was like, not really interested. I'm just interested in the artwork. And I mean, she's beautiful and everything, but I just was not interested. And I saw that she didn't even live far from where I was at, but I didn't pursue it. I just didn't pursue it because that was in that time too. That was a month ago. I just was over meeting people online or meeting people through online. I don't mind business. I don't mind paying for things and getting things done through online. That's business. That's fine. But on a personal level note like that, I can't do it no more. I just can't. I mean literally I was just like, yo, I'm hanging up. I'm throwing away all the apps, all this shit, all the dating sites. I'm done. I'm not even interested in the, even though the app Her is a good app and you can go into group chats and stuff like that. I'm not even interested in those no more either. I've completely lost anything inside of my heart to want to be a part of a dating site anymore. I have lost anything in me that wants to even be a part of like a group chat or a group online anymore. I just think that online people are problems. Online people are just trouble. They just are. And that's just what, and then this could be the Saturn and Aries hitting me or the Pluto and Aquarius hitting me. Pluto and Aquarius have been hitting me prior to this. It's been this way for a year or so with me. And when I realized why I ran to go date online because I wasn't doing it was because of what I got upset about. I got upset over something somebody had said. And when I think about it now, I'm like, well, I shouldn't have got upset about that. But I was in my 30s when I did it. I was young. I was like, I shouldn't have got upset about that to the point that it drew me to want to go date online. I shouldn't have did that. It really wasn't that deep. That wasn't the issue. Like I had to think about it. I was like, that wasn't the issue that I was having at that point in my life. That wasn't what needed to happen. It was things that needed to get cut off that needed to happen. And I was one of those, online dating, long distance relationships, but I had to face the reality that I was not fully ready to have a full blown relationship, face to face relationship. And that's why I did it that way. I had to face the reality that I was in my Neptune phase of being in my own motherfucking head and just wanting something that was a bit fantasy that felt good. See, I can be honest with myself enough to say that. But I also knew that I did not want someone to be really close to me, and I wanted, I really didn't want no one close to me like that. And I had to face, even now, I'm like, I'm not ready to be monogamous with me and one on one with another person. I had to admit that about myself as well too. That recently came to me. Like, damn, I ain't ready for that. I ain't ready. But it's okay to be able to dig into the Pluto energy and realize, like, damn, you're not ready. You know what I'm saying? That you just, it ain't happening like that. Another thing, Saturn and Aries. We are seeing Saturn and Aries where we are seeing fights in the most oddest of places. Not saying that people never fought. Unless you watch a bunch of fights, then you will, know about it. But there's some fights that they usually don't make the news. You probably hear about it when you live in your town. There was a fight that broke out outside of the high school graduation where I was at recently and all this stuff. But sometimes that stuff never really makes the news. So there's going to be stuff that's going to make the news that never made the news when it comes to fighting. So you're going to see people of all cultures and races and backgrounds fighting. Yeah, you're going to see that a lot too. It ain't going to just be black people. It's going to be people of all background, races, and cultures that you're going to see fighting. I remember one fight I saw like years ago, maybe a couple years ago, where on in Long Island, these guys, these Italian guys, was just up in the front just fighting. And I don't know if it was over a parking spot or what it was over, but they just all broke out and just had a fight in the street, all of them. So you're going to see more videos like that because Aries rules that. But they're going to be in spaces where you're going to find it making the news because these people are going to get arrested for this. I need you to understand that even arguing will get you arrested now. It's not even physical fighting. Arguing or any form of aggression in a public place is going to get you arrested. And I'm telling you, you're going to find more people online getting arrested too. Oh, you're going to find a lot of them getting arrested. And you want to talk about docs? I'm gonna stick to what I'm telling you. You're gonna have your long time streamers. I'm talking about the ones that are out there, not me, because I don't bother nobody. But the ones that out here talking shit and all that shit and extra and shit, yeah, watch what happened to them people. Anyway, it's been about an hour, and I done said all that I had to say. I'm about to get back to my show that I've been watching on rerun. Right? It is getting about that time. I want to go to bed early tonight. Yeah. I can't even eat. Not really thirsty or hungry. I tried to eat some leftover pizza, but that didn't happen. I tried, but that didn't really happen too well. And yeah, man. Anyway, catch you all later.